This is the You, Me, and BTC podcast. Welcome back to the show. I hope the last 6 days of your life were dreadful, waiting for us to come back. Well, we are back here to enlighten you and bring joy to the next, 40, 50, 60 minutes of your life. I'm sure John's hoping it'll be shorter than that. He's always tired and it's late there, so whatever. I am Daniel Brown, and I'm here with
Tim Baker
and John Stewart. I don't think I'm always tired.
Yeah, I know.
Most of the time.
Couple cold coffees.
I'll let you be tired. I'm tired all the time too, except when I'm doing this show because I am hyped up. Anyway, John, I don't know. It's been, 3 weeks, maybe a month since you've been around. So what you been up to, where you been, what's been going on? I mean, what could possibly be more important than this?
Well, moving and stuff like that.
Moving? All you got to do is find a new cardboard box and you're good to go. I don't know. That's easy.
2 cardboard boxes. He's moving up in the world now, Daniel.
Oh, geez, freaking mansion over there. All right. I guess you are getting rich off of this show and stepping up in the world. Okay. Well, hey guys, today the plan for today is to talk about 21 Inc. again. We talked about them. Gosh, I don't know, a year or two ago, a long time ago, really, in YMB years. And it was a great episode, a great idea that they were working on. There's some people didn't like it. There's some drawbacks maybe, but it was one of our best episodes talking about the 21 Bitcoin computer. And we're going to talk about the whole service some more. It's been a long time. There is tons of new stuff that it's been announced about what they're doing and how they're supposed to work. At the time, it was still kind of mysterious. But there's lots of news there, and the main thing we want to talk about is the first consumer service that is completely built on Bitcoin, or built on 21, that is. We found it on Reddit, and we started going down the 21 rabbit trail, and we have a bunch of just cool, interesting stuff. I mean, it seems cool and interesting, but there could be drawbacks too, like we said, so we'll talk through all of that. Before we get into it, though, I want to mention again our awesome sponsor, Satoshi Dice. They are a Bitcoin casino. They are the original and the best. I mean, they really are the first. They've been around for years. They have tons of users. They've got the biggest bankroll and everything. All kinds of features, a slick site. If you want to check it out, SD for Satoshi Dice, sd.umeandbtc.com. It is provably fair. It works on mobile, easy to sign up, and it's got anything you could want. I mean, it's simple, fun, exciting. You can win money or you could lose money if that's your thing. I mean, some people just get a rush on that. So check it out, sd.umeandbtc.com, and it is blocked in the US. So you got to be cool. You got to be one of those people that knows better than to live in the US, and you'll be set. All right, tell me, Tim, what is this globespotter.co? The first service built on top of 21. What is it, and how does it use 21? I mean, to the best of your knowledge. I'm sure we'll have to talk this through quite a bit.
Well, Globe Spotters, for one, has a kind of a disappointing website. That's, I don't know yet if the service is that great yet. I haven't signed up in the little bit that Daniel gave us to throw stuff at us to read real quick. But
I don't know if it was made for you, Tim. Do you run servers that you need to monitor? Are
you assuming something about me, Daniel?
I don't know. Maybe you're running all these Tor nodes. You're running all the Tor exit nodes, and you need to make sure that they
all the Tor nodes, every single goddamn one. And I've been using Globe Spotter for about 5 years now. It's a really great product.
I don't know if it's been around for that long, but
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, what does it do? What does it do with the servers, Tim?
Well, Globe Spotter, what it does is, say you have a server, and instead of you having to worry about uptime, which I figured that out by myself, I look up latency, which
oh gosh.
just checking on how your connection is, how people are able to get on your website, just the user experience. At least that's how I understood it to be. Keeping track of that can be a hassle for some people. It's time consuming. You have to worry about it. What if you can't get access to it? What if you're just in some kind of situation that you can't do it?
It sounds like you're doing an infomercial right now, or just any kind of commercial.
Just explaining
it can be a hassle
first.
Keeping up with your websites, but now this new tool. Yeah, no, this isn't a plug. We already did our plug earlier in the show. This is just a service, and it's the first one supposedly that runs on 21. So, and yeah, it monitors your servers. That's about it. It's really simple, but like it is a important thing because it is a hassle to keep track of your servers. I'm a web developer, and we have services like this where we ping our websites just for nothing more than to make sure that they're running. It's that simple. You just ping the website, and it's either running or it's not. And so
you do that yourselves internally. You guys do that, or you hire it out?
We have. It's not. It needs work. It's not built out very well, but we do have a third-party service that is designed to do this. We don't use it as much or as often as we should, but yeah, we do outsource it to an automatic service just like this that automatically pings a website every minute from different locations to make sure that it's running and that they can connect and everything. And yeah, we need to do it more for other websites and for different pages and look for certain content to make sure it's not an error and stuff like that. But yeah, we do this, and it is automatic. So
okay. Just because at the bottom it talks about it mentions that because they're able to, they do this across like a bunch of different nodes. They have a map on their website, which I forget. It's not that bad.
Yeah,
they have nodes all over, mostly focused in like the U.S. and Europe. I guess it's all over Europe, but a lot in Central Europe or like very northern Europe. But they say that if you contract the work out to all the different nodes, I guess, because it's built onto the different platforms, that it's going to be, they say, 10 times cheaper than traditional monitoring. What would that be if it's traditional monitoring services versus this?
Traditional is, New Relic is super popular. It's one of the biggest website monitoring services, and a lot of it actually runs on your server and monitors your code. That's different. But they do have this kind of ping service where they just ping your website from all over the world. And yeah, it is a traditional one. I don't know what we pay for it, but yeah, I'm sure it's quite a bit for the whole package. And yeah, this one here is $1 per month if you pay annually. And I don't know what all that comes with. I don't know how often it pings and stuff or how customizable it is, but you pretty much cannot lose at $1 per month, especially if you're a big company that rakes in a couple million a year or something like that. You have absolutely nothing to lose, and it could be a great service. So again, it's not an endorsement. I've never used them. I don't know how it works and everything. But that's what it is, and it's built on 21. And what I want to know, I don't know the answer to this, but I see all these nodes on the map, and we also, just as we were exploring more of 21 over the past hour or so, we learned that you can be a node that helps run services like this, and you get paid to do so, which I think is pretty cool because obviously I love getting paid. So I don't know if this specific service, GlobeSpotter, I don't know if it's designed to let anyone be a node and get paid to ping websites. But I do know that that's one of the core concepts of 21 and what they're trying to do, and something I definitely wanted to talk about today just because I thought it was freaking awesome, at least at first glance. I keep putting in these caveats because I know a lot of people say that 21 is too centralized and too controlled and stuff, which is possible, but I still think this is a cool idea. So I guess if I may, I will turn it over to John to step back from GlobeSpotter and just tell us what the idea is with 21 itself. What does it even mean that GlobeSpotter is running on 21? What is it? What does 21 do that allows this kind of network to exist? Can you tell us, to the best of your knowledge, what 21 is up to?
Well, the first thing is the 21 computer, which
right.
Hopefully you guys all know about. If you've been listening to this show, you know about it because we've talked about it. It's essentially just a Raspberry Pi that is designed for Bitcoin specific applications or uses. And the new part of this is that do we know when this happened?
Oh, the whole
The
API marketplace?
Yeah.
It's like 6 months old. It's not super new.
Okay. Yeah, we must have just missed that. But the second piece of it is like Daniel was saying, the API marketplace that they have, which is completely Bitcoin driven, paid for, powered, whatever you want to say.
Right.
So, are we sure if the Ping 21 is the GlobeSpotter thing?
No,
are they connected or
that I'm not sure about. That's what I was saying just a minute ago.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if GlobeSpotter is set up to let anyone be a node and to get paid for being like a GlobeSpotter node. I'm not sure if it does that or if it just uses like the API marketplace or something like that. But yes, that is an option. It's called Ping 21. I think it's pretty cool. I'll probably try to experiment with it whenever I find time. But yeah, supposedly anyone can just install this software and they will be a node on the 21 network that will do work for other people. They will ping websites or they'll serve API information and stuff like that. And they'll get paid for it. And I think that is awesome, and I would love to try it. So yeah.
Yeah, so I guess essentially the 21 computer allows people to do sort of distributed computing stuff.
Right.
Because of the way it works with Bitcoin. Right.
So here's the thing. Distributed computing and even API marketplaces have existed for ages. I mean, there's plenty of websites that you can just sign up and you pay money to get an API and you get, say, 100,000 calls per month, and that's your limit, and you pay $10 a month or something. I don't know. There have been services like that and marketplaces like that. But I'm assuming that this is better because it's less centralized. It's a network with more nodes, with, more reliable, more connectivity, and you pay per call instead of paying some central institution per month with dollars. You can pay the exact person that does the work for you for that exact work in Bitcoin with micropayments or whatever. That's the real innovation here, as far as I can tell. Maybe there's more. I guess there probably is, but go ahead.
I mean, I think also, like, as far as the distributed computing part goes, it's like you can just buy this Raspberry Pi, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a modified Raspberry Pi, but then you can participate in it. And that's possible. You could buy your own Raspberry Pi and, like, get a bunch of other people to do it and set up your own thing. But this is out of the box ready, and they have their own command line interface, it seems.
Right.
That has a bunch of pre-programmed stuff already. So this is like, it allows something like GlobeSpotter that they can just kind of set this up out of the box, and it's really simple and easy. It's hard to get just like people all across the world to start helping you out on your distributed programming or your distributed computing idea if you're not like all using the same like hardware and software already. You can't, but when you have something like the 21 computer where it's sort of designed to do this stuff out of the box, it's easier to get people on board.
You're right. And it's a unified setup, and there's money involved. I think those are the biggest things, because The distributed computing projects that I've heard of before, I'm sure there's tons of them that are set up different ways, but the ones that I've heard of are kind of like charity oriented or like health research and stuff, where like you download the software for like this cancer institute or something, and they use your computer to do research and calculations and stuff like that. And you don't really get paid, but you feel good because you're doing charity and health stuff. That's what I've heard of before, where distributed computing was kind of used in the average home. And it obviously, even that wasn't very popular. It's not like everyone was doing that. So the fact that money is involved here, I think, is huge, because now I want to do it, right? I mean, I'm not saying I don't want to cure cancer, but it was just a different kind of incentive. Now I sound like a horrible person,
Wait,
but it's true.
You don't want to? Okay, whatever.
I said
Put that out there.
I said I'm not saying that I don't want to cure cancer, but still, myself and tons of other people still never installed health research distributed computing software, and they probably will install software like this. I'm sorry, it's a fact. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, see, I think also part of it is just that, like, the target audience matches up with the people who would be doing this. So, it's like, it's a hackery sort of thing.
Yep.
And, like,
just like Bitcoin.
It's to do hackery sort of things.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, speaking of hackery stuff and all these APIs, I want to get some opinion. Well, I guess you already gave some. It seems kind of unified and good. I'm getting good vibes from you, John, but I want to know more specifically. I guess I should ask, what are some of the use cases that you would see for this? I guess we could actually just go straight through the list of their APIs that are for sale and talk about some fun ones, because like I said, I would love to run this software as a node to get paid, but I also love APIs. I use them all the time to fetch. I mean, one of the recent ones I built myself was, I didn't build the API myself, but I was fetching data about domain name availability. So I look up a Bitcoin related domain name and check if it's available and create a list. And every hour I would check. I guess we should have mentioned that too. What even is an API? And I guess I could leave that for you too, John. Do you want should we back up a little bit and explain what an API even is and some of the stuff that's used for?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's probably only worth talking about it in this context, which is like web related stuff, because I mean, it can mean others. It can be used in other contexts, but it just, in terms of web related stuff, generally what an API is just like either a URL or a certain network call. Basically, there's a service somewhere that's like running on somebody's server, and they tell you, if you contact the server in this way with this information, we'll give you this data back, and then you use that data to do other stuff. Yeah.
I mean, API stands for Application Program Interface. So it's a way for programs and applications to interface, to connect to each other and talk to each other. It's really just requests and responses. So you make a request to the server, and it responds with whatever you asked for. And data, right? I mean, images, locations, blog posts, whatever. That's just a few of the things here. Which, I guess we could go through some of these. Like one of them is Twitter influence ranking. Order list of Twitter usernames by clout score. And that's exactly what an API is. You give it a list of Twitter names, and it puts them in order based on their clout score. And I'm sure Clout has another API where you ping that and ask it for a score, and it gives you a score. So that's, and then Twitter itself has an API where you can fetch tweets and post tweets and fetch clicks on a tweet. And same thing with Facebook. You can see how many people saw a post and how many clicked on a post, all kinds of stuff like that. So, and one of them here is a company logo API, where it just automatically fetches a company's logo if it can, I guess. So
Yeah. So, I mean, an API stores, as far as just like the usability, you wanted to get there eventually. Like, what is this going to be a good thing, or is it worthwhile? I mean, it's something like this is like it's as worthwhile as the APIs that they design for it.
Oh, that's true.
So, like the idea is definitely sweet because like there isn't really something else like this that I know of that where you pay with Bitcoin per call. Because I mean, it is kind of annoying to have to pay for something like monthly and you don't know how much you're going to use it. I mean, over time you'll get a sense of like what price point you need to be at and stuff, but this is always going to scale exactly with how much you're using it.
Yeah, that is scaling is a big factor, and it is much easier and much more convenient when you know exactly what you pay per call. But I think that even the bigger benefit of this whole thing is just decentralization. The fact that it's on Bitcoin, that you can pay instead of paying some service that has a ton of their servers in some data center somewhere, you can directly pay the person that does the work. There's no aggregation and centralization and overhead. All that stuff is just gone because all you do is just pay the person that does the work the amount that they expected to be paid for doing the work. It's like, it doesn't get any simpler than that. It's the market, right? It's the marketplace.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is if this is working how it seems like we're assuming that it's working, that they distribute the back-end work of these APIs to people running 21 nodes. You can run I also don't know if there's something like that exists right now where like you actually donate your computing power to like run this API.
No, that's what we were talking about. That's Ping 21. Where
that's what I'm saying. I don't know if something other than that exists.
Okay. Well, okay, yeah, which actually brings in, like I kept saying, there's all these caveats because some people think 21 is too centralized. That still is certainly a possibility because, they use their own software and their own website with their own marketplace. And, I don't think there's any way for me to just say, hey, I want to make a marketplace. Here, let me take your code and start selling my own APIs and on my own network of 21 computers. I don't think that's very possible yet. Maybe they'll get there. But that is true that's a bit of a drawback because it is just 21. And they use Bitcoin and Bitcoin is decentralized and there's some benefits there. But it is still just 21. So is that what you were getting at?
No, not at all. I was more saying...
All right.
I was saying that I think this is innovative because I don't know of something else like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
as far as the decentralization goes, like I don't really care. This is just like a service. It's using Bitcoin. This isn't Bitcoin.
Oh, heck yeah.
I mean, that's like complaining that Purse is too centralized, which, by the way, I remembered something about Purse that we should talk about because it's kind of related.
All right, let's do it.
Right now? Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
I heard kind of related, so I thought we should. But I do have one kind of direct response, which is that, you're right. There is not really anything like this. And that goes back to kind of what I said about the previous distributed computing platforms. I'm sure someone out there has made things where you get paid, where you install their software, it does computations, and you get paid. I'm sure that exists somewhere, and that people run that software, and they do get paid. But my expectation is that the pay was way lower because of the overhead, because it didn't use Bitcoin, because they probably just paid you like a couple bucks a month to run their software on your computer. Or maybe they paid you per hour that it was running and stuff. Whereas with this, because of the better distribution, because it's a network and because anyone can kind of get involved, I expect it to be a lot more efficient, a lot less overhead, and a lot higher pay compared to whatever computing software that I don't know, some company made before. That was a bad example, but that's what I think you're right, John. There is a ton of innovation here, and it should should lead to some good stuff, I think.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like you were saying, maybe it is possible for somebody to set up their own thing with a bunch of 21 computers if they want to.
Right.
It's just that 21 right now have the biggest thing because they started it.
Right.
And that makes sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, Satoshi Dice is without a doubt the original and best Bitcoin dice game. At sd.umeandbtc.com, you can sign up in seconds, set your own odds with the slider, and instantly start rolling the provably fair dice. You can even gamble directly on the blockchain. It's trusted, it's slick, and it's an absolute blast. Explore the dice game that started it all and win big at sd.umeandbtc.com.
And like the thing with Purse too, like Purse is a centralized, like I would think of something as this, like if it goes well, it's more of like a killer app than a new system. Like this is something that actually demonstrates one of the use cases of Bitcoin and like how Bitcoin can make something work really well and be really seamless.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. And even if 21 itself is not like open source and portable, and even if I can't directly make my own 21 marketplace and network, the idea is now there, and I'm sure there are other people working on the exact same ideas where you just distribute computing and pay people for it. I mean, that's partly what MadeSafe was doing too, is distributed computing and even kind of distributed hardware. And so yeah, it is exactly like you said, a killer app. Even if 21 doesn't ultimately win, the concept is a real thing, and it's really great, and it should lead to plenty more innovation, I think.
Yeah, and that's the same thing that I feel about Purse. Purse is a centralized thing too, but you can't really say very much bad about it other than that.
True.
If things like I won't. This is like a bold statement, but I've thought about this a lot recently. If Purse were to like collapse, I would think that Bitcoin might be dead. And maybe not like just Purse. I mean, there's like maybe a certain scenario where like Purse could fail, but it not mean the end of Bitcoin. But if there isn't stuff like this still happening, stuff like Purse and like 21 happening, I would think that Bitcoin would be dead.
We should take a minute here. We've done this countless times before, but it has kind of been a while. I mentioned in a couple recent episodes that, I love Purse, and I got my friends using Purse, and that's how they got into Bitcoin. But it's worth mentioning again what Purse even is. And then we can get into this new idea that John is talking about, which I think is pretty cool. But I'll just put it out there real quick. Purse is where you pay people to buy stuff for you on Amazon. It's a network. You say what you want to buy on Amazon. Someone buys it for you, and you give them Bitcoin. And you get a pretty big discount. My normal discount is like 21, 22, 24%. But you set your own discount, and you can legitimately get 20x% off of anything on Amazon, and it works. It sounds too good to be true, but try it for yourself. That's why it's so shocking and so useful, is because it really is too good to be true, but it really is true. We do have a referral link if you want to support the show, umeandbtc.com/purse. And it's pretty sweet. You get discounts off of Amazon's already great prices. So there's that. But go ahead, John. What's this new thing they're working on?
Yeah, funnily enough,
Funnily enough, I love that phrase.
Yeah,
sorry.
I don't know if funnily is actually even a word, but there you go. I mean, it might be possible to do something like what you're talking about, setting up your own 2021 computing network type thing on your own, like open source and distributed. It might be possible to do that with this. What it is, well, it's called Bcoin, And this actually was probably like a month or two ago. And well, it's partly because I haven't been on the show so much. I was actually going to suggest it for something, and then it probably went like 2 weeks without being on the show, and then totally forgot.
Yeah, but, this is why we need you.
It's a JavaScript library developed by Purse called Bcoin. And this is like another reason why if Purse failed, I would feel like Bitcoin would fail, because not only is Purse probably the most eligible thing to be called Bitcoin's killer app, but they've also I think Purse has done a lot to support Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Over their time.
I think that's true.
And this is just like the next, maybe the biggest, most benevolent thing that they've done for Bitcoin, I guess, is developing this JavaScript library, which...
All right, so I'm sure Tim is just itching to know, what is a library? What's a JavaScript library?
Okay, well, you
were wondering, were right, Tim?
Not really. I kind of just read through the article. I wasn't really even paying attention to that.
All right, so you want to tell me what a library is then, Tim?
No, I didn't say I knew what it was. I just said I didn't give a fuck.
All right, keep going.
I mean,
John.
I understood what it probably meant, and that was good enough.
Go ahead, John.
Though.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of related. I mean, libraries have APIs actually, so it's kind of related to what we were talking about. But essentially, it's just when you're doing certain things in a programming language, there's going to be lots of stuff that you would write over and over and over again, like huge chunks of code for doing certain tasks. And a library is basically, well, we noticed that you've been writing this 100 lines of code over and over again to do the same thing in all these different places. Instead of writing that over and over again, you put all these pieces of functionality and things that you can do into a library, and then you can just call those in one line instead. Yep. So it's just, basically
it's a shortcut kind of thing.
It's kind of like somebody wrote a program that you can call in your own program.
It's a collection of functions so that you don't have to write the functions yourself.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the idea behind Bcoin is nobody except super hardcore, battle tested veteran people want to touch Bitcoin Core, because nobody wants to get in that deep. And if you just want to set up some simple thing that uses Bitcoin, there's not really a great way to do that right now. Or a very simple, easy way that's accessible to anybody. So this is basically, well, you want to do something with Bitcoin, make some Bitcoin related application. You install this library, and then you have access to all these common useful functions that allow you to do Bitcoin things.
Yeah, so I think one of the most common examples would be accepting payments. If you did it with Bitcoin Core, that would be a giant pain. You would have to install Bitcoin Core on your server, and then you would have to somehow connect to Bitcoin Core and say, okay, somebody is on my website. They want to buy some alpaca socks for $10. All right, so now we have to get the Bitcoin exchange rate. Okay, so this is how much Bitcoin they owe me. And now I gave them this address. And so then you need to tell Bitcoin Core, well, first you have to ask Bitcoin Core for the address, and then you have to give it to the user, and then you have to tell Bitcoin Core, all right, I'm waiting for a $10 payment to this address. Once you get it, let me know. That kind of work would be incredibly complicated with Bitcoin Core running on your server. Nobody does that. Probably not even Purse, not even Overstock. They all use BitPay and stuff like that. Nobody would ever want to do that. But with a JavaScript library, you could just say in a couple lines of code, just like I described that in a few sentences. Well, each of those sentences about, asking for an address, that would be one line of code. And doing the conversion from dollars to Bitcoin would be one line of code. And then saying wait for the payment would be one line of code. That kind of stuff is much easier with a JavaScript library than it is to connect directly to Bitcoin Core. Do you think that was a good example?
Yeah. We're reading from an article from Medium to get most of our information about this. the tagline for Bcoin is a JavaScript library which does a lot of hard Bitcoin things for you. So it's just exactly what Daniel's saying. Doing this the old way required tons and tons of work, which is why people would like outsource it to other people, like BitPay or whatever.
Or Coinbase, right.
Yeah. So, but now it's more easily accessible to write your own stuff and not have to outsource that, but have it still be simple. And another thing worth reading from this article is a tweet from Andrew Lee, who we had on the show a long time ago.
Yeah, a couple times, yeah.
He is one of the co-founders. Is there another title that he has?
Yeah, probably see something.
Yeah, co-founder and maybe other stuff of Purse, one of the big guys at Purse, cool dude. But he tweeted a lot about this when it first came out. And the tweet that they have included in this article is, folks, re-implementing consensus code is no small feat. I don't believe there's anyone who's competent enough to do this. So, yeah, I mean, basically the point of that is like all these really smart people put a lot of work into writing Bitcoin Core so that you don't have to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and what he's talking about is re-implementing it, which means it was written as Bitcoin Core in, I don't know what language it is, probably like C or C++ or something. And then to port that to JavaScript in a consensus way, in a way where it's, because that's the thing. If it was a linear program that just did one thing and then finished, I mean, anybody could port that. All right, 1 + 1. All right, output the result. All right, there's the 2. All right, that's easy. Anyone can port that to any language. But when the JavaScript program has to talk to the C++ program on someone else's computer, they have to work exactly identically. They have to send the exact same messages to the exact same nodes on the exact same network with the same units, the same, I don't even know what, protocols and anything. It all has to be built exactly the same, which is why it's so hard to port it from one language or one platform to another, because every single little detail, especially for something as complicated as Bitcoin, every single detail has to be identical and compatible. That's what he's saying is the no small feat. That's got to be at least like a size 13 there, I think. But
pause for applause.
Oh man, yeah. Let's we'll reach out to him, see if we can get him back. It's been a while since we had a guest, and I normally I would hesitate to make promises like, oh, maybe we'll have him. And that's not even a promise, and I still would hesitate, but I'm putting it out there. We'll try to have him back, so. And he'll let us know what's going on with all this. Yeah, so the other thing that I saw in here that looks cool is I guess it says Bitcoin D compatible JSON RPC API. I'm assuming, I would welcome your thoughts, John, but I'm assuming that would mean if you're running Bitcoin D on your server, then your JavaScript can talk to it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you have to run Bitcoin D or if it's just an option. Maybe it can run the wallet kind of itself without Bitcoin D. I don't really know, but anyway,
yeah,
at any rate,
seems like it just means that you can if you want to.
Right, it's compatible, right? And that seems like an important feature because, I mean, if I want to have Bitcoin D, I want to have Bitcoin D. So, and then it says it has all the support for SegWit and Lightning Network and all these BIPs and everything. So that's great. It seems like some great software that should be useful for a lot of people. Maybe
and it is
even
open source.
Oh yeah, exactly. And maybe even myself, if I ever find time to innovate more, I still want to do that. So I want to build stuff on Bcoin. I want to build stuff on the 21 Marketplace, and I want to make money doing all of it. So we'll see how that goes. Any other thoughts, guys? Anything new that we missed, or should we jump into advice of the week? Anything?
if you are young, learn about computers, because if not, you'll end up like me, and I'm lost during most of the episode.
I told you to ask questions, Tim. Jeez.
No, it wasn't that bad.
I'm not that dumb. You all made perfect sense. I'm just as smart as anybody. All right.
Is that really what I sound like? You have me worried now. Do you have an API for me not to feel shitty about myself? This doesn't matter. All the computers go down. The government takes over. None of your API knowledge is going to mean anything.
Yeah, we'll make a self-esteem API that just says nice things back to you.
Actually, there's one on the 21 thing that's never Trump. Did you see that?
No.
It sends you quotes to remind you not to vote for Trump.
Oh man, that's good. That's good. We should set that up. See, we could set that up with our Twitter account and just automatically tweet those quotes.
Someone just needs to make a diet one. It's just like, don't eat that, you fat fuck. Put it down.
What's the price per call on that? On that one,
0.01. Is it in dollars? Yeah,
dollars. So a penny per call. Ugh.
Well, no, it's 1/10 of a penny.
No. I'm looking at it now. It's $0.01, so it'd be a penny. It's $0.01, which would be 1 cent, right?
No. Normally money is like 1 point whatever. That's. Oh wait, no, you're right. I don't know what
I was lost
I'm way
there.
too tired, man.
It says $0.01, which I think means.
See, I'm getting mixed up because I'm like
millibits.
It's like I'm thinking Bitcoin, and then there's like Satoshis right under it, and then it's dollars, and I just don't know what's going on.
Plus, it has 2 5-star ratings. That's got to be worth something. So,
yeah, but it's a penny every time.
I didn't scroll down far enough. All the ones on top are like standard, 21 APIs, email validation, keyword detection, expand URL. But if you scroll down far enough, then you see Never Trump and Wizard Facts and Weather 21 and NASDAQ ticker. How do I 21? The Fortune 21. There you go. Fortune cookies. So, no, actually,
you don't want to eat Chinese. You just want to have shitty fortunes anyway.
It looks like there's also some on here that are free. Like there's a Hello World that's just like a test thing that's free. There's a free Bitcoin price thing. Yeah, some of these are free.
Yeah, so check that out. We're looking at 21.co/MKT, which I guess is short for market. So 21.co/MKT if you want to check it out. Or we always have links in the show notes, which would be for this episode, ymb.tc/E145. ymb.tc/E145. And we'll have all these links in there. So, all right, Tim, was that your advice of the day to learn about computer stuff? Is that what you had for us? And should we move on?
No, that was just me offering myself up as the scapegoat and the whipping boy of your intellectual
So
assault.
do you have your advice ready, or can I go? I'm ready.
Oh, fuck no. Yeah, you go.
All right, good. My advice is just going to be simple. Build stuff. All right. I love APIs. I love building services and projects and programs, and I love consuming data and reorganizing it and repurposing it for my own purposes and for other people's purposes to make money. So I guess I should add that to my little proverb there. Build stuff and make money. That's I feel like that could be a Google slogan or an Apple slogan, right? Instead of don't be evil and instead of be creative or courageous or whatever, build stuff and make money. I think I
want to make a company that their slogan is just don't be evil. I don't know what kind of company you're going to be running at that point, but
wait, I'm confused. Isn't that Google? Or is
don't
that
be evil?
Yeah, that was their slogan. Their original one. Did you not know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's Google. So it's already taken.
Fuck Google.
I thought
self-righteous pricks.
I thought maybe you were making
never did anything for me.
I thought maybe you were making some kind of sarcastic joke like, "Oh, I want to make a company like Google and get filthy rich."
That's a little bit too layered, Daniel. It says like 2 layers of irony and then a dash of sarcasm.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate podcast joke that no one will get with context.
I guess that's my advice. What do you got for us, Tim or John? Go for it.
I was watching a video the other day about, well, it was an interview with a programmer who's kind of famous, and they were just talking about hacking and hackers. And the thing that he kept saying over and over again is that hackers, like, people think of hackers as people who do illegal stuff. And he was saying, no, hackers, like, is someone who doesn't let norms get in the way of their ideas. Yeah. And so that means several things. It can mean doing illegal things. That's one type of norm. But it also is like, you might think of something that people think is like impossible or stupid. And those are the things that hackers don't think are impossible or stupid because so don't, I guess, be a hacker is my advice in that sense.
I like that. Build stuff and make money as a hacker. This is growing. What are you going to add to this, Tim? We got the ultimate proverb in the works right here.
I doubt that. I'll jump on John's too. Besides the fact that they're building stuff, hackers, at least nowadays, tend to actually release a little bit more. Well, I do have some advice because they may be breaking into my house right now. I'm not sure. There's some commotion outside, so get yourself weapons. But adding on to what John said, besides building stuff, besides everything like that, hack, get information, leak things.
Oh, there you
go.
Leak stuff. That's a
now
good
it's
one.
It's the journalists now are just like covering everything up.
Leak stuff and then run to the French embassy or wherever.
No, not the French embassy. The French will turn you over. They're a bunch of pussies.
They'll
go to Russia,
up.
probably. Go to Russia until they start just killing people. That, and again, I'll go back to read stuff so you're not stupid and make weirdly layered jokes that only Daniel gets.
All right.
Be a hacker so that I don't have to because I'm retarded. Be a smarter person. There you go.
All right. That sounds like perfect advice to me. I guess we are ready to wrap it up, guys. Thanks so much for being here with us on another Thursday night. We will see you next Thursday or Friday, and we hope you have a great week. We hope you get by these 6 days without dying from not hearing us. All of the music in today's show was from John Stuart. Thanks for that, John. Peace, everyone.
Bye.